Okay, that was easily the worst traffic that I've had to deal with in at least a couple months. That was awful. Hello, everyone. I've made it. I'm patching Palia right now. And I'm gonna post on Discord really quick. Like, give me 1 second with that. YouTube, where's my YouTube studio? Oh my goodness, I just opened YouTube for the first time on this computer since I left, and I have so many notifications. So many. None of that's important right now. Where is my link and link and that should work. Okay, we've made it. Hopefully everybody's doing okay. It's been an interesting day for me. I'm running around trying to get my car to the shop because the battery died. Need to get a replacement battery. So today was the only real day to do that. And then it turned out that the entire world, because apparently there's a holiday coming up, who would have thought, the entire world is going crazy. So I originally thought it would take like 40 minutes to get there, 40 minutes to get back. So I scheduled this thing at 5. And it took so much longer. So much longer. I apologize. But hey, the game is launching. I just need to put in my password, which I totally remember. And go into Discord channel, grab the patch notes. I read through them earlier, but I don't remember all the small things that were in them. So should be fine. Should be. Oh goodness, there's a Hashan in front of me. Okay. That's not what I thought. Let's transition now. Welcome back. I should move myself a little bit. I don't know, I'm gonna make it so that I'm not covering everything, but I'm gonna look a little floaty. I'm sorry about that. I'm so sorry. So yeah, we're here. There's a little bit of... The game is really quiet on my end. It's probably really quiet for everyone else too. Yeah, it's just really quiet. Settings, sound. Put it up to there. We should be able to hear it a little bit. I don't know. Could be too loud now. Welcome to Palia patch. Why are you here? I've come to apologize for not... Wait, what? Oh no. It's the wallpapers from the patch. Are they gonna come one at a time? They're just gonna come one at a time, aren't they? Oh my goodness, they're coming one at a time.
For some seeds?
Oh no.
Call me an orange.
Do I don't have enough room in my inventory for all of this stuff. Give me a minute, guys. I thought they said that this wasn't going to... Oh, they lied. They said that this wouldn't be... Oh no. Okay, we're gonna be here for a bit. We're gonna get all of the wallpapers. Hi, Oni.
You get any cool bugs? Bye.
Bye. I guess we can... I don't know who's giving what. I haven't been paying any attention to the colors, but I'm sure we'll get there eventually. Bye. Oh yeah, I have glasses.
Can I get you anything?
I don't think we did a live stream for the last one, but I have glasses on this character now. Isn't that fun? Isn't that great? I got different hair color. I've never heard of them. They believe that the character and fate are at least in part determined by what moon phase we're born under. The waning gibbous. The builders. Can I call you Bob? The Starstone is quartz. It might not be the most valuable gem, but it sparkles just the same. Oh, good.
This chat has been lovely.
Bye, Bob. He's Bob now. Oh, good. You have a thing.
Culture of familiarity.
The man left the Duchess's letter unopened. Oh, no. I know you were literally born yesterday, but you do know of the Order. They're the anti-magic police. Well, the peacekeeping force in the Palean Republic. Ah, so they are a republic. What does their constitution say? The next investigation will be the human reemergence in Kolyma. Our inn has received the honor of serving as the base of Operation Hinox. Oh, before I forget, because this is a stream on this channel and I released a video today, I do have a couple of corrections, not for the video, but for some of the comments, specifically on my video that I released today.
Sorry, I was
Somebody remind me to do that after we look at the patch notes, but first we have to talk to every villager in this game. Because they're all just going to give us wallpapers. It's a wallpaper day.
Hope you have something interesting to say. I had better
I
things
got
to do
so
anyway.
much. So much. Nox, you missed it. I had to take my car to the shop because the battery died. And what do you know? It's the week of Thanksgiving. So it took me an extra hour to get there and back again. From what I was expecting. And I was already expecting it to be bad.
Just love the wind in the valley. If you can dream it, you can.
Somebody's online. Josh is online. That's a surprise. Actually, that's not a surprise.
Nice of you to drop by.
That's unfortunate.
Toodles.
It really is unfortunate. Unfortunate. Oh yeah, but my character has glasses now, so that's more important.
Great day for a run.
We have new patch today. I was originally going to do a Stardew Valley randomizer today, but then I remembered that we had a Palea patch and that nobody would want to watch me do a randomizer without any... Oh, good, you're back. You just left. Without at least some forewarning of the craziness that they were going to see. Hi, Sifu. What's up?
Come back again soon.
Do I still have some slots left. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We have 5 more to go. Hi, Najima. What's your color?
All the way here.
You're quartz. But we already got a quartz. What's the difference between the smoky quartz and the cloudy quartz? They heard me complain about how their stones didn't have, is that all of them? Okay, we're missing a few. They heard me complain about how their stones didn't come with decorations, and they were like, you know what? Let's make the walls slightly darker. I don't like that. Wait, that's not even the right color. Are we doing this again? Are we doing this again? Oh my goodness. Okay, The colors for the wallpapers don't line up with what they say they are. Again, they're very different. Why doesn't the wallpaper just come in the mail? It seems like a tedious way to do it. It is a tedious way to do it, and it definitely hurts in the medium term. I don't know the long term with like new people if it'll matter that much. Okay, what part of this is whatever. These colors they just don't, some of them are pretty close, but they don't match up at all, really. But yeah, no, they probably just should have sent them in the mail. It's really a whole thing. So I guess I should mention that for this patch, oh my goodness, I need to change my face. I look ugly. These pieces of furniture here, the ones that they released for October/Halloween, these are now no longer available as of today. So I'm sorry, you can't get them anymore. At least until I decide to re-release them in probably a year. But we have something more important, most important even, besides talking to every villager possible, which was definitely a decision. We have a new villager that will hopefully give us a new wallpaper. Hello, Anthropocene. Dude, he's definitely a fan of the Green Brothers. I'm gonna say it right now because I don't know of anybody who's used the word Anthropocene for anything who hasn't been a fan of the Green Brothers. It's don't just saying. We found them in the world. Who's in my server? Anybody fun? I saw somebody with a there's somebody with the name Bug Puppy. They seem pretty fun. We have to talk to Tish. It's 1:30 in the morning. I don't think Tish is here right now. There's Bug Puppy. Hi, Bug Puppy. You're a Bug Puppy. We just gotta crash Tish's place real quick so that we can continue this quest line. Because this is one of the big things that was added in this patch, is we have a new villager, which is starting off a new quest line. I should say new and temporary quest line, meaning that this line and all of the rewards from it will not be permanently in the game.
Don't you just love the wind in the valley?
So this patch comes with this quest line, which comes with friendships and an entire new furniture set as part of it. And once this whole part of the story goes away, which they said it will,
Every day you stop by,
these shouldn't be obtainable anymore. So, I mean, I guess that no FOMO stuff only applied to the store because it seems to be in abundance in the game itself. Agatha. Oh, and Eloisa now has a quest marker over her head. Doesn't mean she has a quest, but she has a quest marker over her head. That's a known issue. I'm sorry if that's game breaking. Hi, Annie. How you doing? Oh yeah, I don't know if you saw, but I had to re-upload the video. I'm sorry. So yeah, we have Palia patch day. We have a new villager. We haven't gone over the patch notes yet, but yeah. Sorry that I was an hour late. Traffic was awful. the worst part of it is when I was there, I was like, I should have brought my laptop, because if I was on my laptop, I could adjust the time, like the start time for the stream on YouTube, but I couldn't. I tried using the app and it wouldn't let me change it, delete it, nothing. I couldn't do anything with the stream. It was awful. I felt bad. I mean, we're going to be exploring the patch. I want to see, because this is the big thing. I mean, none of that matters. I want to see what the investigators... What? What? We need Silk, Dragon's Beard Pete, Pallium Bars, and Flow-infused Plank. I'm gonna make the banner. You can't... It didn't pop up. We didn't get any ideas. Guys, we didn't get any ideas. What's happening? I'm scared. I just have to craft the banner, right? I can just put it there. Oh, no, it doesn't count. See? It undid the quest. But if I pick it up again and it's in my inventory, it'll be fine. Okay, this is all good. We just need a ton of stuff. I wanna refrain on giving my thoughts on the item set until we have the full item set, if that makes sense. Or not the full, but many more pieces. Because I want to see how it looks in the game under proper lighting. Because as we saw from the wallpapers that they gave us, not all of them match the light with the colors. So we'll withhold our judgment on the furniture set. I guess with us flying over here, we should probably... Oh, I'm going to do two things. First of all, the Anthropocene, which was that other guy's name that I said came from the... I keep wanting to say Fine. It's not the Fine brothers. Those are the evil ones. From the Green brothers was the proposed geological date from the commencement of human impact on the Earth, which they talk about a lot. The other thing to talk about is the actual patch notes, which we should probably go over because, I don't know, it seems like something that we usually do with the patches. Yeah, so this is patch 0.173, which is a new visitor joining Palia, and we have Subira. And we saw before Ash showed up, told us that they were coming, blah, 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 blah. Subira is a member of the Order coming to investigate me specifically because I'm a human who appeared in Kalima. And that's what they look like. Again, we'll wait. In order to start the quest, to have her show up, okay. So she should be in the game. I don't know how they're handling in the game. Like if she's only in the game for people who have completed the quest, we'll check that out once we get back in. But you should have to complete 3 quests: the Prove Your Devotion, Prove Your Purpose, and Prove Your Generosity, which are given by Ash and have you go around and talk to different villagers and do different things for them. But once you do that, then you'll get that little letter that we got, and we'll start this quest chain where we have to get the furniture. Nothing really to say about her yet because, well, she's a member of the Order. I don't know anything about her besides this is what she looks like, and this tunic really could have done better if it was one color. But that's just my thoughts. We'll see her in game soon, hopefully. Up next, there are 2 new areas because Subira is here, and there's also a secret location that they're not telling us. Let's hunt a secret location. There's the new furniture set, which is the investigator set, which we just crafted the banner for. This is what it looks like in here. As I said, I want to make sure that it looks proper in the house, but these are all the pieces, and it looks like it's a Pallium set and a flow tree set, which is going to be tricky. But they did recently buff Pallium ore spawns, which is going to be good for us, specifically today while we're hunting it. And in this patch, they gave us a way to get new flow trees, so that's pretty good. There's also new foods that we apparently unlocked during this Subira storyline. Specifically, it's Petite Fives, Oysters, Aquindu, Mujin, Bahari, and Kongi, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, with 3 in the picture. And oh yeah, it's 4. I said the wrong number. It's just 4. But there's 4 here, 3 in the picture. Don't know what the last one looks like. But this name Mujin Bahari, this is a new meat dish because the Mujin is a new creature. And yes, all of these recipes are unlocked as we play through Subira's Arrival quest line. There's also a special event. Flow tree groves are in the game. Up to 2 of these can exist at any given point within Bahari Bay, and these should be our way of getting new flow trees. We'll explore this a little bit more in this stream. But within these groves comes a new huntable creature, which they've changed the look of. It's not the boar thing from before. Now it actually has its own look, and there's these tree creatures, which makes me wonder if we'll need an axe to get them. I'm also wondering if this is going to be a creature that actually gives, like, the fine arrows a reason to exist. But they have some new drops, being the meat, the mane, a banded mane, and a blue bristle mane. So the meat and the mane. There you go. As well as 2 achievements. We saw the wallpapers. They were added. These colors don't exactly match the 2D stuff. And these are supposed to line up with the character's individual star sign, I think it was, or that the gem from last patch. So if you want to know each individual character's little gem thing, what they are, you can see it here. Or you could learn it from this. And you'll receive these after you give a character a gift that they like. So one of their liked things, they'll show up at your house and give them to you. Something that should have been mentioned with food, it is now possible for you to display your ruined, messed up food if you have star quality ruined, messed up food. So if you did a really good job at making your slop terrible, then you can display it. I don't know why that's a thing. I want to see how they did this. This will be a whole thing. I'm going to run around. This is the sit. This is the sit patch. They also made it so that the workbench opens to the last recipe that you've used. The pumpkins are gone, which I mentioned earlier. They nerfed a couple of the rarer starstones from the last patch that were added to give half the gold on rubies, a third, and a quarter on the amethyst and sapphire specifically. Not really much here. This is what scares me, right? And this is just me. I don't know what your guys' thoughts are. They said that the Switch version was supposed to be releasing in holiday 2023, and we are at Thanksgiving, and we still don't have word on this. No word at all, right? This game's been in open beta since August 10th, and they're just now adding some changes for controller support. You would have expected this to have started months ago so that they can actually make the game feel better on controller, so that when they bring it to Switch, it's already done. But it looks like they're doing everything last second, which is... I don't think it's going to come out looking good. They've also added a sensitivity slider for hunting, if you like that. And they have some outfits. The Royal Strategist bundle for 1,700 coins, which gave me a minute. I'm gonna have to do my Stardew math because I usually actually have to think about that. $20, so 1 1/3 Stardew Valleys. $12.75 for the Street Skater, and I don't know, it's probably the one with the skateboard, right? Probably the one with the skateboard that we'll look at. That is 1 Stardew Valley right there for that outfit. And the River Guardian bundle here is also 1 Stardew Valley. But they did something that I thought they were going to have at launch. Guys, they've offering glider skins for $5 each, which is 1/3 of a Stardew Valley. So these are the first glider skins that are available for purchase. There were some as part of the Refer a Friend. There was one as part of the Refer a Friend. These, they all look the same. There's nothing really crazy about them. They didn't do that thing that we suggested like a couple months back where they make giant dragonfly ones, but it's a start. And I do think they need to open up more cosmetics that are cheaper. And then they have a bunch of other stuff. But that's really all of it. There's not really a whole lot to say. We'll look at some of the color combinations later. That's all of the changes. Wait, does that mean that when I open this... Oh, goodness. I don't like this. I feel like I'm missing a tool. Am I missing a tool? Pickaxe. No, I'm not. I'm not missing a tool. It just feels like I'm missing one. I don't like this UI change. So we're off to Bahari because we need a lot of flow trees to do our next thing. There's no way, right? I'll also need some pallium ore while we're here. Some pallium ore, some stuff. I'll need a lot of silk, but I don't like bug catching, so I buy that stuff. I'm scaring the choppers. So there should be one every in-game day here, but it's currently 7. I don't know when they spawn in-game. But I'm gonna make my way up and start mining, I guess. I don't know if people are gonna call them out. Ooh, I got a bad spawn. So how's everybody doing in the last, I don't know how long. So I guess I can give my mini story from the last couple weeks. If you don't know, I haven't really been streaming on Twitch or doing a whole lot of stuff for here over the last few weeks, mostly because I was having some throat issues out of nowhere. Started up a couple weeks ago. Nice, we have some pallium. And I ended up early last week going into the dentist, and it turned out that a root canal that I had a couple of years ago was basically failing, and that they would need to extract the tooth, which I also did last week. And I went through that entire process. It was awful. The whole thing was awful. And I've been spending most of the last week recovering from both the tooth extraction and the sickness that was underlying it. I have not been playing games per se for the last week. So if you have like seen my community posts, you know that I was working on a Mineko's Night Market video, and what I was doing for that is I was playing it a little bit every day. For the last week, I haven't played any of it. So I'm going to be starting playing that up again probably tomorrow. That'll push back video on that by about a week, just because I want to get more acquainted with the game again before talking about it. All of that stuff. If you want to know about the experience at the dentist, that's much worse because I don't get numb at the dentist. So, and it was a 3-hour procedure. Second worst pain I've ever been in my life. I'm going with that. So yeah, it's been, looks like they slew this down a little bit, or I'm faster now. I don't know. What are we doing? I would demand to be put under. They don't do sedation there. But yeah, I need to start looking for a sedation dentist. It's bad. I did make a video that I posted on an entirely brand new YouTube channel. You'll never ever find it with my naming convention for YouTube channels where I talked about my experiences there. But yeah, let's just say it wasn't the best. And it wasn't even the pain. They nerfed the times on the, I can confirm already that they nerfed the times on the mining. Stealth nerf. Wait, did they stealth nerf? We should see. No. 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 Yeah, no, they stealth nerfed. I told you they overtuned it last time. I don't care. I'm breaking stone. Here, I'll finish this one. Oh, look at that. Mine nodes together, complete. I hit it, you hit it. I'm gonna hit this one, you hit this one. Look at that. We are so good at sharing. Sharing is caring and all of that stuff. Yeah, he's good. We're good. Woo! I should... Here, where did I put this? I'm gonna make sure that I'm loaded into everything properly. I should mention that I did release this video, about like what is an indie game, earlier today. It's currently doing way better than I thought it would, but there's a couple of things that I want to address with it. Which I could answer here. I think I haven't read the more recent comments since I hit the road, but from where I stood at the beginning, it seemed like a lot of people's definition of indie game had to do with AAA or not. And using traditional definitions, those aren't mutually exclusive terms, which is something that I find absolutely hilarious about this entire thing. AAA it's historically been about how much money and people a game project or studio has or has used. Which is funny because people think of it as like being affiliated with publishers now, or being affiliated with the Big Bad Wolf. But that traditionally wasn't the definition. So if you spent a lot of money, you were a AAA studio. If you spent a little bit less money than that, you were a AA studio. That one was pretty fast. And then, what was it? Some 4 or 5 years ago, there were 2 different pushes in the naming conventions. There was a push to name the bigger games coming out AAA Plus, which were spending upward. They were games that were spending more than $500 million for an individual project, and that got really big after. Well, a little bit after GTA 5 came out, they were talking about that. And then, was it 2 or 3 years ago? 2 or 3 years ago, there was the idea of quadruple A being floated around by some. And quadruple A were the games that cost so much to make that they could bankrupt even your giant publishers. And those ones were, I think some of the reported figures for the quote-unquote quadruple A games were upwards of somewhere around $1 to $1.5 billion for a single game. And it was outrageous. But the other thing, and yeah, indie is a vibe. That is the original article that I pulled up to like show that the controversy existed. They actually had that question of, is indie a vibe or an actual thing now? And it's really funny how that's changed. But I do wanna correct one thing that I've noticed, and that was there was a comment about games that were owned by Microsoft, Nintendo, or Sony, and whether or not those are AAA. And to answer that question, the answer is no. We use a completely different term. So when we're talking about, say, Nintendo, because I have Nintendo, so I could talk more about those. If we look at a Mario game or a Zelda game, those are games that are made by Nintendo proper. For the Switch, we would call those first-party games because they're made by the party that developed the console. If we then look at games like Pokemon or the Kirby games, those are made by companies that are not Nintendo, but are partially owned by Nintendo. And we would refer to those as second-party games. So the second party, owned by, but not directly that new group. And then there's games that are made by developers that are not affiliated with the console. And those are your third-party games. And that one is like the big one that I sort of wanted to correct, because I saw a lot of people talking about, or I saw some, not a lot, but some people talking about like Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony, and that's not a question of AAA, AA, quadruple A, that whole thing. That's a question of first, second, or third-party games. Which I can make a 20-minute video talking about all of that stuff. So there's sort of two completely disconnected things to talk about when it comes to indie games, and that is the idea of AA, AAA, quadruple A, AAA plus, whatever you want to call that. That A status is a question of funding and resources. It is not a question of how much freedom a game or like a studio has. It's a question of how much money they have to make what they're going to make. And that's important because of a few games that have come out being made by literal multimillionaires who are technically making indie games. Even though they're studios that they're making for their one-off game projects. Well, the game that I'm thinking of is made by somebody who's got multiple hundreds of millions of dollars. Their studio has more resources than most other studios on the planet, but they would still be considered indie because they're not at all tied to anybody else. Now, if you want to look at how studios are doing with everything else, I still attach my value of indie to whether or not they have a publisher, basically an outside publisher, because of publishing contracts have deliverables and they have specific things that need to be met, and therefore it changes how things work. Which is why in an interview, the people running Mint Rocket and Nexon America said that Dave the Diver wasn't an indie project. It wasn't because of the vibe, it's because they didn't need to meet the deliverables that the most of the other games that were nominated for the Indie Award had to meet in order to be published and exist. I don't know. If people want me to make video, because I noticed that video is a little blowing up compared to every other one that I'm making. If people want me to make videos on different topics surrounding indie games, like one that I was thinking about talking about was about how Kickstarter is used for indie games. It's because there are like 2 or 3 different ways to do it, and most indie games they don't use Kickstarter for funding, I'll put it like that. But I can talk a bit about that if people want, but I do want to get reviews out. And I do want to say that I missed getting a review of Spells and Secrets because I couldn't get a key fast enough, and I can't afford to just buy every game that's coming out, and it's very sad. I tried to get a key for the game, and they accepted me into the thing, but they don't have any Steam keys remaining, so I can't do it because I don't have a PlayStation 5. Oh yeah, people have flares. I keep forgetting about that. Take a week off of playing games and everything hurts. Besides that, I've been watching a lot of shortcuts videos on Mario Kart 8, and I've been trying to get better at Mario Kart the last few... Oh, I hate this. I've been trying to get better at Mario Kart. Hopefully we'll get there. Oh, that is awful. That's gonna take a lot of getting used to. Okay, can I talk from a UI element on how, like, this isn't a good thing? Okay, look. I open my tools, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have this cancel button, and I have this put tool away button. But, and I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't need to open this menu to put this away. There's an entire another dedicated button in the game to putting tools away. Like, I know they're saying, oh, we want to make the game better for controllers, but why are you making it worse for keyboard players to make it better for controllers? Just make the UI different if you're using a controller versus a keyboard. Games do that already. Having to explain that is all silly. We need to find the thingamajig. The spawning thingamajig. Oh yeah, there's a new secret area to find. What do you guys think that means? I have so many quests that I haven't done. It'll probably be the longest that I sit around looking for trees in this game in a very long time, just because it's required for a quest. They really didn't like the fact that I wasn't hunting down their flow trees. I just don't do the quests in these games. I'll do the quests if they unlock like a character or progress story or something, but I don't do a lot of the side quests. I'm not a big person on the relationships. Like, the reason I don't have Tish at level 4 is because I don't want to get the other characters to level 3 in order to get their quest to get Tish to level 4. It's so annoying. Oh, you know the worst thing about my face now? Everything just feels a little bit weird. I got my molar removed. The mine clip through floor. I like that guy. Dude, I love the void. The void's fun. It's a great place to be, falling through the world. It's just the taste in my mouth. Also, every once in a while when I try to chew something, it's just like, boom, you have a big hole in your mouth. Deal with it. But there's like this taste of iron that is ever present, probably due to the fact that I have a giant gaping hole in my mouth, and iron is the taste of blood. but it's this ever permeating soft taste of iron that just always exists. It's a bit meh, but it is what it is. We'll get there eventually. Guys, I'm floating. Oh, I just read a comment on the video. I read the beginning of a comment on the video. There's a distinction between indie game and indie studio. Capcom's internal teams are not independent of its publishers. They cannot shop around for publishers that are owned. They are owned by Capcom. I think that person missed my little joke about Resident Evil. I only included it in my indie list because it's a funny thing that nobody would consider indie, but depending on that one definition, it would be. But yes, the reason that they give there. It's funny though. And then somebody else like, I value the development side over the publishing in these kinds of conversations. That's a very long one. I'll read it later. Conversations are, there's a lot of nuance and there's a lot of preconceptions and cultural norms surrounding definitions, which is even why when I said talking about like AAA, AA, all of that, it's a traditional definition that we use, not an actual definition, because words meanings change over time. And it's a scary thing. But yeah, no, the Kickstarter thing's been on my mind because I forget, it was Vix, right? Vix said, commented on one of my videos that I should check out the Grove of the Plum or whatever that game is called. That I keep screwing up the name. Hold on, I'll find it real quick. Oh my goodness. Echoes of the Plum Grove. This one. Echoes of the Plum Grove. They told me to check this one out. It's currently being Kickstartered. And I said in my community post that I'm like 50-50 about talking about the game, because a lot of what I think about the game comes from a couple preconceived notions that I have with it and their Kickstarter. And it's a very nuanced conversation. And it requires a lot of time for me to get my brain straight. I can load up their Kickstarter. I know everybody likes me ranting when I should be doing stuff. This is what I do. I rant. So it's got 12 days to go. It had a goal of $5,000 and 21,000 have been pledged. And people want to know, some people wanted to know what I think about the game. You see they've got like thunderstorms, new recipes, things added here. Switch port for 40K. They'll get a Switch port if they get to 40,000. But ranting is good content. It can be good content if I ever cut it into its own video, which I always forget to do. But my problem, and I do have a problem with this game. My problem with the game is right here. It's actually to do with this and this. And it's not just this game. You can see it with, and I'll try to find some other examples real quick. Let's look up another game. This one I have backed on Kickstarter. So So we have this, and then here's another game. This one I have back. This is Mika in the Witch's Mountain, which should be coming out sometime somewhat shortly, which is another indie-ish game, depending on our definition of indie. And we could see, if we had the stretch goals, we could see that everybody was trying to get all the stretch goals, and it raised over 1 million of whatever the local currency is, right? They had physical rewards, they had a bunch of stuff. Here they are. And their funding goal was 40K, and their outfit was 80K, and they had their Switch. They already announced the Switch version, but they announced they would do a Switch physical version if it was completed. And they got dungeon levels and blah, 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 blah. They reached everything, okay? They did everything that they wanted. And they raised $1 million. And for this team, I forget how big this team is. Who is this? I know the publisher is Chibig. I'm forgetting who. Oh, it's Abraham Kozer. It's probably not that big, right? So if you have a game like this where you're working with, say, 5 people and you're trying to get the game out in the next year, $1 million can fund that game pretty easily. But $1 million wasn't their goal. If they had 5 people working on this game and they wanted to get it out, I don't care if you have 1 person working on the game. $40,000 isn't enough to fund a few years of development on its own. And I'm pretty sure this team has more. And when I saw Josh's Gaming Garden, or Josh's Game Garden, I always forget the name of the channel exactly. I saw his interview with them, and it seems like it's a 2-person development team here for Plum Garden, right? What are you going to do with $5,000 late in development for this game? Like, I'd understand if this was a Kickstarter for the game early in development and they were going to use the $5,000 to get, like, equipment to make the game. But according to them, they're mostly done with it, and they're getting ready to wrap up, and hopefully the game comes out in a beta state soon so that they can release next year. What are you going to do with $5,000 for this game? The goal isn't a funding goal for a project. It's just not. It's an advertising goal. Oh, it's going to open up another one. I don't think I can open that one up. It's an advertising goal. They want to be able to tell everybody that, hey, this is our indie project, and it got fully funded. It got fully funded in 2 hours, 4 hours, 10 hours, in under a day, so that they're hoping random game journalists will pick it up and talk about it wherever they talk about it. And a lot of the big reasons that I have been reticent to talk about this game are because of just that. They're using an advertising trick, and I don't want to be pulled into the advertising scheme. I think they have a demo out that's playable. I don't remember. Yeah, they do. And it should be playable until the end of this Kickstarter if you want to try it. I have not tried it. As I said, I've been dealing with my face. I haven't been playing any games recently. Let's see. For 2 people, and they said they've been working on this game for 4 to 5 years at this point, with another probably 8 to 10 months of work to put on it. I would assume 2 people working half-time, so 1 whole full-time employee, because I'm assuming that they're making money somehow while doing this. Otherwise, it's really confusing. I would assume that the base level to fully fund this game would start at about $125,000. Obviously, that would be like earlier in development. That would allow them to get people to do some art, maybe some music. If they didn't want to do it themselves, it would allow them to not spend full-time working. Maybe they pick up part-time jobs instead of full-time jobs. Or if they wanted to do it over the course of however long they've done it, 3 or 4 years, you're adding about $100 or about another $70,000 per year for these two people that they're developing the game. So if this was at the beginning and they said it was a 5-year project, I think the basic Kickstarter would be $350,000, right? And that's just for 2 people. Kickstarters don't fund games. Because I think even with Mika's case here, where it's raised, we gotta go all the way up. What is this in my money? 1.3 million euros. If they have a team size of like 10 to 20 people, it's entirely possible that this doesn't cover more than like, it doesn't cover that much of development. I don't know. Then again, I've seen estimates that if you were to actually charge for Stardew Valley's development time properly, that the game would have come out to costing about $750,000. So, but you have to remember that he worked on it for like 6 years before it came out. So it sort of makes sense. Hello, bug. And those numbers could be way off from my end. Like, obviously, if you're an indie dev working on your first title, first of all, I would say that you don't want to work on something that's as big as Stardew Valley or Plum Grove or any of those, because you get more experience from smaller projects and learning where you screw up than you do from trying to tackle the big thing all at once. But you also would probably have a lower rate. But you do gain experience over those times, and your natural rate would go up over time. Man, people are using that. I still haven't seen a grove. Wonder if groves are still gonna fall under the same problem. That flow trees have, which is a lot of people just solo them. I actually really like that little effect of it coming down. I should have probably grabbed some flares. And if you wanted to know how to get these flow trees to spawn a little bit faster, you can just mine out an area. There was a whole thing with people running around mining out, like chopping down all the trees in this general area in order to try to get them to spawn. And that's just how it works. Oh, look, I scared the wolf population. Rip the wolf population. He didn't spawn with a bag. How dare he? A couple of small bugs with this one. Deforest the area. Think that to get the wolves into a flow tree to upgrade. Wolf flow tree. I would love to know if the wolves become a flow tree. But at least before, the answer was to mine the area because that's the only way to get the spawns to come back from the trees. Also, hello, JD. We were just ranting about, I don't know, everything and nothing all at once. I was ranting about Kickstarter. That's what I was ranting about. Nah, it just seems like he jumps up here, and then if I chop down this tree, what's he do? It spawns 3 more. I think I just have endless wolves. Oh wait, we need to get the wolf to run into a flow tree? Sounds amazing. Speaking of flow tree, where was that flow tree? It was over here. Thank you. That bush is floating. What? How easy is it to force them to go into one? That's the question. I noticed a couple small bugs with them, but I've also noticed that I haven't seen a single grove spawn yet. There's not a tree there. You're gonna have to go the other way. There's a tree over here. You can jump in. No, go the other way. Jump into the tree. They're supposed to only spawn once per day. But I haven't seen anybody call one out either. And I don't have flares on me because I left them at the house. I brought Phoenix. I brought Phoenix fireworks. I was only down there because I was running around. I would assume that this area would have more, but I honestly don't know. Okay, I literally cannot tell the difference between this and the middle of day. Can we make the game a little bit darker at night? Just a little bit. They really hurt the vibe here. Dude, look for a pink fog over an area. That's what I'm trying to look for, but I'm also like looking around at other stuff. I'm explorizing. Mostly explorizing the fact the colors. The lighting seems too bright. And I don't want to get silk. In reality, I'm just out here being a filthy flow tree farmer when I didn't want to farm any more flow trees. All for a quest. All for a quest that I don't even want to do. Okay, we want to do it. We want to meet the new character. So quick question. If the new NPC, and I'm not saying she is, but if the new NPC is basically just part of one big... Oh, what's the word we want to put here? One big, very long temporary event that you won't be able to do after X amount of time, and then the character goes away. Is that a bad thing? I mean, in a lot of MMOs, there's evolution over time, right? World of Warcraft lost a lot of the world with Cataclysm. All of that stuff, and people had a fit about that. On the other end of things, like SWTOR only lost stuff when they decided that they didn't want their NPCs pointing at flashpoints anymore. They said that after she's gone, they'll make a way to do... Did they say that in the Discord? Because that's the exact opposite of what they said in the patch notes. I don't have the Discord open right now. It would block too much on my already crazy screens. If I can find that on, it'd be nice to include, because that was my big negative about the patch from the patch notes, is if they make a completely temporary character with completely temporary quests, with completely temporary furniture rewards and food rewards that you'd never be able to experience as a Switch player, because Switch still hasn't been announced. Oh, I trust the partners about as much as I trust Singularity 6 when it comes to what they're saying. And that is not at all, because Singularity 6 doesn't know what they're saying half the time. But good news. Good news is their reactionary game, Singularity 6's overreactionaryism is finally catching up with criticisms from the very beginning of the launch of the game into open beta. So they've finally gotten to the point where they can develop stuff that was requested in August and release it into the game. And that's sort of what we've seen in the last two weeks. Last week with last two patches. Last patch with the beards, and this patch, well, and the mining stuff. And this patch with the flow groves. Those are all reactions to complaints about specific systems in the game that they're trying to get out. So they're finally catching up to those, which means they made them a rush and they didn't actually have plans to fix those things beforehand. But, you know, reactioning is a good thing, I guess. Possibly. They did get their character out before the end of the year, although I still haven't seen said character, so it's hard for me to say if I like them or not. And if the quest line will be any good. But this quest line feels like an intermediate. It feels like the Shep quest line is still the final quest in the game. Like the big bad thing. Well, technically, like the one after that's a cutscene, but I don't count that because it's just a cutscene. I feel like this is a pre-endgame, and I feel like it's also too high of a level. Like, going from... what was it? Just meeting random people and getting, like, level 2 friendship to suddenly needing, like, 80 flow trees and pallium ore. It still feels like there's a massive gap in that story that I'm not understanding. I think we jumped too far. It's a good secondary quest line with the flow. I think it's okay. I feel like we're missing some steps still. Like, how did we get here from the other part? And I think the problem might be Gina's friendship line feels more like a main storyline at times. I know, because I haven't done Gina's storyline on this. I did it in beta, and it felt like a more natural continuation of some of the stuffs. Or no, that might have been some other stuff. But I'm trying to think of it as a like new player coming in. It's still going to be very jarring going from the story before to this mission, because you'll have a ton of later stuff to do. I feel like we're missing some of the build-ups to this. Which, don't get me wrong, there are some hints that this was what was happening the whole time, but still. Maybe that's just because I'm not somebody who goes out of my way to farm a bunch of flowwood all the time. This is still stupid. I have a button that puts stuff away. I don't need this. Climbing is still great. Can I say that the design for these guys does not match this game? The design for the new creatures does not match this game. It's too visceral, too aggressive. It matches the themes of some of the stuff in the game, but you can't put in a creature who looks like he's going to rip out my innards into a game where he can't attack. So, ugh. I mean, I have a great way of putting sentences. Like, if you ever want my thoughts about something, just ask for me to rant about stuff, and I will probably come up with the worst way of describing something. Who was it? It was in my video where I was talking about how my qualms with reviewing games and how like getting keys and such works, and that whole process. And one of the comments on it was, what, like, wow, you really know how to make it seem like you're like the companies have a gun to your head at all times. And I was like, thanks, I'm really good at analogies and metaphors and making things seem awful. It's what I do. It's what I do. Is it 6 o'clock yet? Can I find the, still haven't found it. What's the draw distance in this game? Are those trees in the distance real, or are they being cut down? I feel like that's an actually important question. Can everybody on the internet join my server just so that we can get some research data when the grove spawns? I want to know what the draw distance is for the telltale signs of it being there. I mean, there's a flow tree there, but that's not really answering my question. Do I want that flow tree? They found it. I don't want that flow tree anymore because 2 players are gonna cut it down. Something looks weird about that flow tree though. Okay, it's fine. It was really pink though. Why does the music feel ominous? Oh, I should mention that from here on out, my streams are only going to be live on this channel for maybe a day. After they come out, I have an archive channel for all of my streams, and I've been moving them over to there as soon as they've been downloadable. So if you want to catch any of these streams shortly after the fact, I don't save them with the chat just because we've had issues with that before. But they'll only be on here and they'll be unlisted for, well, until a couple days after. Then they'll be uploaded over to my VOD channel with all of my Twitch streams. I don't think we have any direction to the VOD channel here. I'll add one at some point. I've really just started to use it more. And that's mostly because VODs are treated really weirdly by YouTube, and I don't like how they how the stats specifically are handled. And I don't think that this is the type of content that is really conducive to being on the channel, because my channel is not about 2 hours of wandering around ranting, even if it's how I make most of my videos. Just wandering around ranting. Are there any upcoming games that people are excited for? I'm gonna start playing Super Mario RPG tomorrow on Twitch. Finally getting around to doing that. Like, oh my goodness, it's been bad missing that. Poetry west of statue, call out please. What? Okay, it's almost time. I also have a lot of comments to go through. Everybody's on their way to that. It's not even what I'm interested in. I want to see a grove. Oh, good. I collected some forageables. I got my forage medals. Take that, world. I'm way too far over here. They said that there was a secret place that was unlocked. Does anybody think that maybe... Nope, still not that. Still not the mine shaft. It probably wouldn't be accessible until after we complete the quest anyway. Boop, 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 boop. I'm not seeing nothing up here. I can't find nothing, guys. It's gonna be so bad. Look at this. Get a pack. Upgrade a pack. We only have 7 flowwood? Wow, I can't make a single thing with that. We've been searching forever and only found 1 tree that I didn't cut down. Bum 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 bum. I've got a song stuck in my head, I'm sorry. It's a new day. It's about as bright as if it were night. Everybody's just fighting about all of this stuff. Isn't that right, monk statue? I still haven't done the monk quest line. I've done some of the other hidden stuff. I still haven't done the monk one. I've just been too lazy for that stuff. I did them back before it was cool. I think on day 1 of closed beta, I did one of the hidden things off stream. I recorded it. But it was the Phoenix statue one. I'm being depressed now because there's like nothing here. Read patch notes, find out things not spawning properly. Where is my Discord? Oh my goodness. I can't find nothing about it. I did find a new way to crash the game. That's always good. I like crashing games. It's not crashing the game. They told me this would crash my game. Instead, it's just not scrolling. I was hoping right-clicking would crash the game like they said it would. Didn't even do that. Have the Palia maps updated with the location of these groves yet? Also, are the new wolf things too common? We've seen a ton of them, right? I hear something. I don't like hearing stuff. I think it's their multiplicative property. The multiplicative property of the wolves makes them just a little too common. So right now we have 2 wolves, or an amount of wolves. Okay, they both jumped into the same tree. So I went from 2 wolves to 3 wolves. And if they don't all jump into the same tree, which these 2 did, I now went from... That was only 2, I think. And those wolves didn't jump up there. Wow, they're all trying to make a fool of me. Just don't let anybody know that I'm chopping trees down to potentially make a flow tree. So I was chopping this tree down for normal. I will shoot the tree with you in it. So many of you. Yeah, that's gonna do a whole lot. Me? He looks like a Looney Tunes creature. The big eyes. That flow tree on the other side of the bridge. I think he's immortal. What do you guys think? Immortal? I'm thinking immortal. There was one here 15 minutes ago, and they didn't tell me about it. How dare they? They told me nothing. Feels weird that they're making the only multiplayer activity really the chopping trees. Bum 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 bum. My pal cat's chasing me around. What would be faster, me trying to find stuff or? I can either try to find stuff or I could try to make friends with Ashura. Both seem unlikely to happen. I should also make my way back to my house just to turn some of this stuff in. And mine. My pallium supplies are low. And I'm hungry. Anybody got any, like, good food recipes? It's almost Thanksgiving, I know. But I'm hungry now, not Thursday. I see a tree stump. Bum, 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 bum. All the geysers are just stuck open for me. They're stuck geysering. Let's just break everything. That's my standard way of doing stuff now. Break everything. This little cave is the first place that I ever got pallium ore. Some people were in here and we mined it together, and then one of them was like, oh hey, I watched your videos. Trying to make me feel embarrassed. Did they make the geysers shoot shorter, or is that just me? Feels like it's just me. I mean, we read through the patch notes. We haven't seen the new characters. I probably won't do my video on the patch until I see the characters. So I'll probably play this game offline, off stream a bit. Between today and, I don't know, a couple days from now. I feel like we need to make... I feel like I need to make an updated video to my, like, what is indie video already. Because there's, like, 300,000... people viewing this, and I expected it to be like a throwaway video, so I really didn't put that much detail into. I put all of my thought into how do you make people think about what is indie and what isn't indie, and not into like what are the other focuses around studios and things like that that contribute to the idea of indie versus not indie. Good news is it feels like the algorithm has stopped pushing it as much, because it went from 105 views from 6 to 7 to 5 views since 7, which is slowed down. So I've got time to think. Time to think. So I guess with that, I will say that I don't have any major thoughts on this patch just yet. I need to verify some stuff that was said on Discord. I need to play a little bit further in, but into the patch, get some stuff, find some groves, record some footage. Hoping to have a video out about this patch by Friday. It's not the fastest, but I'm trying to learn to take my time with stuff rather than just rushing things out. And even if people don't, like, even if a bunch of people don't watch it, it's like, whatever. At least I put my own work into it. Getting better, mostly better. Trying to make my way back into getting content done. I just successfully hunted some creatures somehow. So we should see more reviews of games and such next week. I won't always be doing games that just came out. I do plan on reviewing some games that have been out for a little bit, or games that I like. And I want to, every once in a while, create videos that are more based around, like, discussion points, I guess, in the industry. As I said, I think I have to create a follow-up for the indie video just because I didn't plan for or expect many people to like watch the video right away, or many people to view that, because I really don't get that many views on videos right now. So it was my fun fact about the indie video. It was my test video to see if I could handle going through the process of writing and recording and uploading a video right now. I didn't do my normal editing process. I literally recorded live to make it easier so that I could do it shorter. So it's not really up to standard. So we have to fix it. We'll fix it. We'll fix it. I'd like to say thank you for everyone for being here. Well, sorry about being late. I hate traffic. You all hate traffic. Probably gonna run into traffic tomorrow too. My Twitch stream will probably end up being later in the day than I wanted it to. That sucks. But I hope people have fun with their week. If you're in the US, have a good Thanksgiving. And I will start playing Coral Island soon. We'll probably play it on here on stream probably next week with my first playthroughs of that. I've seen a little bit of it, but I know people wanted to know my opinion of it, and as I said, I wasn't playing games when I was sick, so and I didn't want to play that one off stream. I wanted to start it on stream, so it'll take a bit, but we'll get there. With that, I will return home. We will do some stuff. We'll check our mail mostly. I didn't even water my plants today. That's not that much of a worry for me at the moment. Mailbox. That's a really late mail. Weird. Yeah, we'll be back. I don't think I'm going to be doing a stream on Thanksgiving just because it's Thanksgiving. So I'll probably be back streaming on here next week. I want to do some Coral Island. I might do a Stardew Valley randomizer stream because, as I've said in the past, I do have trouble playing Stardew Valley normally anymore. And I blame my past for that. And thank you all for being here. I'll see you next time. And I hope to have videos up reviewing and discussing stuff this week still, even if Mineko is being pushed to next week. Bye. Have a good day.